Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Today in this video I want to learn about recursive functions in F#. So we basically all know about what a recursive function is. A recursive function is actually something that calls itself. So let's take a look at the definition in ChatGPT. So it says a recursive function with late tricks. We're coming to the late trick part later. First of all, I want to explore the definition. It says for functions that call themselves, you use late trick to define them. Recursion is common in functional programming for tasks like factorial calculation, list traversals, etc. I already know a little bit about recursions, so I can show you example using JavaScript. Let's take a look at that. Let's say we have a function like this. I'm actually using JavaScript code. Shit, it's not working. Okay. Let's define a function. Let curve is equal to we have some code like this to stuff, and we're going to call our function once again after this. So inside this function, as you can see in this implementation of recur function, this function is called over and over again when we are actually running this function. So let's move on to our F# code. So in this ChatGPT thread, I'm going to take a look at the code examples. First of all, I can see a recursive function is declared with this late trick keywords factorial. So it's basically a factorial function. You already know what actually a factorial is. So let's try to rewrite this recursive factorial in F#. So we know a recursive function actually has two cases. First of all, it has a base case actually where the function stop executing itself, and the other part is the actual recursion. So let's move on to that. Let rec factorial. So it will take a parameter of n. Now what to do, I'm going to put a if statement, though I haven't covered a video with if and conditional statements yet, but I'm going to use it for now. If in, I have to take a look at the code examples first. If in less than or equal 1, and then I have to put it in the same line, so let's take it back. Then 1, and after this then statement we have actually our else clause. So here I have to multiply this n with factorial of n minus 1. I think this is it. So let's go back to our ChatGPT chat for confirmation. We don't have a closing for this function, so let's use it. Let fact, I want to count factorial for 10, so let's call factorial 10 and print it. D. Let's compile. So here is the result. So let's calculate for 5. 120. It's working good. So I'm going back to the ChatGPT thread. Let's take a look at the explanations. What actually it's saying is the let recur indicates that this function will be recursive, meaning it will call itself. As we know, when we define a function with let keyword, we actually write like this: let then printf and whatever. It looks like this, but this function doesn't call itself. But in this factorial function, you can see it's calling itself inside the implementation. So in this case, we have to tell this compiler that this function is actually a recursive function by using this rec keyword. So after that, it comes the factorial, the name of the recursive function. Okay, I already know that. In it's actually the parameter of the function. Then it's the base case or the base condition. After that, we have the actual implementation of this recursive function. Here is another code example. In this case, you can see the recursive sum of list. So let's take a look at that. So in this example, it's actually using a list with some different syntax which I don't know yet, so I have to skip it for now. I want to study it later. After this, we can see here is a thing called function returning functions. So this is something like we have the higher order functions like in JavaScript, but I don't want to cover this topic here. So friends, this is it for this video. Thank you.